Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. We're going to do some show and tells right now, but I wanted to start just I pressed record and I hadn't really thought through about how I wanted to pace this out, but it's pretty on brand. So I collect props. We all know this. I love collecting props. I love connecting people with new prop fandoms they didn't know about. I love finding out that someone's obsessed with a certain prop that I have access to or access to like great information on. And I also like when I see things that are a pretty great deal, sometimes I just pick them up. So last week on the RPF, a Raiders jacket came up, Raiders of the Lost Ark, a leather jacket built identically to the one in Raiders, came up for sale on the RPF for a very, very reasonable price, $150, I think, give or take. And I just grabbed it. It struck me that it might be a little small for me, although right now in men's sizes, well, actually probably in everybody's sizes, but I know men's sizes, so I can tell you that, like, over the past 15 years, without changing my weight very much, I've become a small in a lot of clothing manufacturers' size charts, which is to say that this coat was slated as a 36 chest, and I thought as a kind of a regular 38 chest with a slightly long torso that might fit me. It didn't. But that's fine, because here's the jacket. It's a lovely jacket. And I'm not going to do coverage about this jacket because it's unnecessary. For the story, there's all sorts of... You want your information on a Raiders coat, you can go find it online, RPF, threads, all that stuff. What is lovely is that it came with a letter. It came with a letter from Jeremy in South Carolina, who just wrote and said, "Imagine my shock as I'm stocking shelves at Target when my phone tells me that Adam effing Savage just bought my RPF listing. Your work has continued to be a source of inspiration on my maker journey, as well as on my journey to be the best human I can be. Thanks so much for everything you do. Keep up the lovely work, and I hope this jacket provides you as much joy as it did to me. P.S. When are you going to make another Grail Diary?" Dude, I made a Grail Diary. I know I did that long before I had any kind of channel, either television or YouTube, but that's not going to happen soon. I mean, there very likely will be ancient text replication of some sort in the future. But what a sweet note to get on top of this coat. And now this coat will be part of my collection until someone of a slightly smaller stature than I tells me that they love Raiders. And then I may say, "Hey, I've got an extra Raiders coat. Would you like it?" I've done the same thing with several Raiders hats. I've given away 4 of them over the years. I've picked up Raiders hats in trades and for other stuff. And, I had really good prices. Circumstantially, and we can go back to my childhood for this origin story. Forgive me if I've told this before, but I really think it was a long time in the past. So I'm a young kid. Oh yeah, had a blood test this morning. I'm a young kid. I'm like probably 11 or 12. And I go with my dad to visit a sculptor. And if I remember correctly, the sculptor made these beautiful... He was a carpenter who physically made trees out of carpentry. Like, he made every leaf out of wood, out of hardwood, and carved them all, and made all the branches and hand carved them all. And he was a friend of my dad's, and we were having lunch with him. And on his wall, he had this African mask. And it was one of those African masks that is made out of an oil tin, out of these I believe, if I understand correctly, that like a standard square box tin to hold liquid or oil is like a common material in Africa. And so this was a mask cut out of the metal of a metal container for liquid, with marbles for eyes. And it was really beautiful and really evocative. And 12-year-old me just like couldn't stop looking at it. And I wanted one, but I didn't know how to say, I didn't really know how to say I wanted one. So I said to the guy who owned it, "Where do you get one? How much does one of these cost?" that was my like threading the needle conversationally. I thought I was being clever. One of the funniest things about growing older is that you can't believe how much the adults around you knew how full of crap you were when you were like a young person. And I'm talking like up until your like mid-20s. The adults around you all know when you're BSing. And they also all know that is just part of growing up. Anyway, this guy saw through me that I desired this mask. And my dad and I were pulling out of his driveway. He had a long driveway, I remember. And we heard it, whoa, and he comes running down the driveway with the mask and he gave it to me. And that feeling was so powerful, so shocking. And to be fair, I felt really seen and acknowledged in a way that was intense and lovely. And I seek to replicate that experience. So I keep this around so I can give it away. What could be better than that? Put that there. And wait. What were salt? That's what we're talking about. Hello. So I like food. I like good food. And I like salt. And I'm not crazy particular about my salt, but like I like salt enough that I travel with salt, because I got to tell you, traveling with salt is such a clutch pro move. When you are in a hotel room and you order the last room service before 11 p.m. and you get some, mediocre sandwich and you've got some salt in your bag and you can wake that sandwich up. I have rescued a lot of crappy hotel meals with the salt that I travel with. And I specifically mentioned recently that I travel with Jacobsen's salt, because they make a flake salt that has got these big old kernels. And they're like, the first salt sea change in my life came about when it was explained to me that kosher salt dissolves much faster than your regular Morton's table salt. And that makes it much better for all sorts of cooking operations. There are probably other reasons, besides just being kosher, that kosher salt is also awesome. But that one shift, now, like, we always have kosher salt in the house. And whenever we're down to like this much in the box, we buy more, because we cook a lot in my house. We also have like Moldo salt, and we have, like I said, I travel with Jacobsen salt. And the Jacobsen Salt Company sent me a present. And I haven't opened it up yet, but I'm just about to. Oh, this is lovely. This is lovely. Okay. Oh, this is great. So the thing was what I showed was that I traveled with these little Jacobsen salt tins full of salt. And I had their standard OG one, and they sent me these two. Let me set up the camera so I can crack them open on camera. Ooh, lemon zest salt. All right. Oh, they already had a tearaway. They made it easy. I made it hard. Look at that beautiful package. Oh, Absolutely gorgeous. Shades of mid-century. Oh, yeah. Okay. And this is lemon zest salt. Let's try this. Woo! Woo! Oh, that's fascinating. Oh, that is really good. Jacobsen's, amazing. All right, let's see here. Look at this. This is so beautiful. That is like some real mid-century refinement in that design. And it's got a little tagline, life on a granular scale. This is what I travel with. This is exactly right. That is some beautiful salt. Now, flake salt, obviously totally different than normal granular salt. And what I like to do with it is I like to use it as a finish. So if you want to make yourself a caprese, so you get a nice piece of some heirloom tomato, and you slice a nice chunk of that, and you put some mozzarella or burrata on top of that. You throw some basil leaves. Maybe you've cut them in a chiffonade. A chiffonade is just a fancy way of saying you cut basil into strips. It's actually one of the fastest way to cut basil because you just roll up all the leaves in a big barrel, slice them all the way down. You get these long little strips. They're fabulous for a caprese. And then you might add a little balsamic across the top of that. It's best if it's an aged balsamic. And then over that, I would sprinkle some heavy Jacobsen salt because it does two things. The heavy flakes make not just a flavor transfer, and salt is it's not just a flavor transfer, it is also a crunch. And that crunch, I've put it in sandwiches, I put it on burgers. It's like, I crave that crunch. If you think that I'm a little nuts and you're like, why is salt that important? I would ask you to go to Trader Joe's, get yourself their fantastic tomato soup, and heat up a cup of it, and take a little sip, have a little bite, then put a little kosher salt in there. Have a bite again. Put a little more kosher salt. It actually takes for a cup of tomato soup, to me, it takes like a good 3-finger pinch of salt right in there. And that puppy wakes up. That's what salt does to food. And this isn't to talk about salt as I guess I am talking about salt as an ingredient. It wakes things up. It's really incredible. It's like upping the saturation in a Photoshop file. And white vinegar, weirdly does the same thing, depending on what you're working on. Since I'm not the chef in my house. My kids and my wife are all better chefs than me. I'm the sous. I prep everything. I get it ready. And I'm often a finisher. So, I will get the dish and be asked, what is the last thing that it needs? And a little bit of this, a little bit of that, just to bring the flavor up to full. Jacobsen Salt Company, I remain a giant fan of your work. Thank you for sending me these 2 beautiful packages. Oh, right. I didn't try the lemon zest. Okay, I'm going to try lemon zest flake here. Ooh. Oh, that's a kick. That would be great on a margarita glass. Not that I drink, but still would be great on a margarita glass. Oh, that could be spectacular on a salad. Oh, that's great. Thank you guys for joining me for this little show and tell. Jacobsen Salt Company, thank you so much for your kind gift. And I will, look, if you have a favorite salt, tell me about it in the comments. Actually, if you have a spice or an ingredient you travel with, even if it's something bizarro like Vegemite, let me know in the comments, because I'm always looking for good stuff. Thank you guys for joining me, and I will see you all next time. Cheers.
Thank you so much for watching that video. I've got a merch pitch for you. I'm going to keep it really quick. We have a brand new Demerit Patch 5-pack at tested-store.com. And these are the 5 you can get if you buy it right now. You've got the I hung it off level patch, the I built the chair upside down patch, the I stuck the duct tape to itself. Oh, my personal favorite. I hit my thumb with the hammer and I stuck a stapler in my thumb. Get yours now, tested-store.com.